How it be, how it is. We're doing it. We're here. It's happening, and it looks good. Chapter 3 of Terraform. I am so excited. I am your dungeon master and host, Sir Feffers. Thank you all for being here on the third episode 1 of Longshot Season 4. Oh, I'm very excited. First and foremost, a few things to get out of the way. We did a summer series over the summer, and those are being slow rolled out on the YouTube alongside of the 3 new campaigns. Feel free to hit that up with !YouTube and give that a follow, and you can keep track with us if you happen to miss anything. There's also a Discord, and there's also an Instagram. Longshot RPG for the Instagram, and of course the Discord will be in the chat. What we're going to do now is I'm going to throw it over to GoodGriefGeorge, who's going to say hello, and he's going to talk about himself a little bit, but he's not going to introduce his character just yet. And then he's going to pass it off to somebody else, and they're going to do the same. And then I'm going to do some reading, because I'm trying to get better at that. And then we'll begin. George.
Perfect.
Tell me
Hello.
lovely things.
I'm GoodGriefGeorge. I'm me. I'm really just me. You can follow me on all the things. There's links on the side there to follow all of us at some point. I do a lot of Hitman content and a lot more D&D content lately, but not even on my channel, but on other channels like the Sir Feffers channel and Worlds Guild and ADHD Adventures and all that good stuff. So you'll see me basically everywhere. So yeah, we're not talking about our characters right now. So I'm just looking forward to it. I really enjoyed doing the summer series and being the GM, but now I get to do basically as much work with this character. So looking forward to it. We'll pass it off to Taylor.
Hi everyone, I'm Taylor and Tracy. You can find me absolutely everywhere as Taylor and Tracy. I haven't done an intro in a while, and I don't know what else to say. So, Ben.
Hi, my name is Ben_Brainard. You can find me on the internet. Jake.
I was muted, but I caught it.
Nice.
I was muted.
Nice.
I'm Critfail Jake, the one who always mutes his mic and never remembers to unmute. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. Dorky.
Hi, I'm that dorky cosplayer. You can find me pretty much on all the things, and I do cosplays. I know it was a big secret there, but now you know. Okay, I think everyone went, right? Jack?
Yes. Without further ado. Welcome all to maybe the most expansive, that's already with a spelling error. I'm just going to start over.
Reset,
Welcome all to maybe the most expansive endeavor Longshot has ever accomplished. If you're new to this series, some things might not immediately make sense, as this is chapter 3 of the Terraform series, but rest assured, this is a beginning. A new fantastical and dangerous adventure for our fresh-faced level 6 party. And if you're joining us from the previous Terraform campaign, welcome back. Our seasoned players have taken the summer to create a fascinating and intricate party of characters. So that said, welcome to Whistlan, a country without a king. The continent of Whistlan is divided into 4 regions, the 3 strongest noble houses and the forested lands of the elves. We'll be diving into the lands of House Thorn, a map I'll show later, a diverse landscape of high cliffs, verdant plains, and massive cities. There is a constant balance, is the word I'm going to use, between theocracy and the gentry. The various noble houses, they have the armies, but you're going to see things like the cops, if you will, are one of the churches. The Church of Death, particularly, is the one who will take you away if you're too much of a problem and send you to a fun little place that I've been cooking up over the summer. You also have the church... Yeah, over the hill to the farm. We are beginning our journey in the city of Furinor. I'll throw up the map real quick, which I have prepared. Boom. Down here in number 2. If you want to head over to the Discord and see a more in-depth map and a more constant viewing of this, you can head over to the Discord. for now. Furinor is currently throwing a festival. For a massive bridge has just been finished between the island city of Pardon, where Fizban's from last campaign, and the city of Furinor. Furinor was originally known as First Anchor, and over the many years, is now referred to as Furinor. 3 different factions are funding this festival. You have the Church of Tempestas, aka the Stormfather. You have the Church of Ahraden, Ahraden being the goddess of rest. And of course, House Thorn, the most powerful house in this region in the map you just saw. House Thorn has 3 standing armies, but the Church of Ahraden has the most power in Furinor. The nobility, in this case, have to answer to the church. That is not the case in every city, because there's no king, and there hasn't been for 100 years. Let's go. Let's do this thing. George, you're in the midst of Furinor, and you are sitting on a bench. It's a little drizzly, a little overcast, and that says a lot as to many of the jousting, for example. Many of the things that will be going on in this festival might get a little complicated. You're sitting there, and you're just you've been up to some stuff, and you're kind of chilling, watching the Church of Ahraden, the actual building, this beautiful red marbleized church with a high steeple and many beautiful stained glass windows, and you know that this church has a lot going on right now. You can see a lot of people coming and going, a lot of money's being moved around, stress is high, everyone from everywhere is showing up for this festival, and they are very much the ones who are coordinating most of the events. It's very busy. No one's looking at you. Would you like to talk about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so Pod is just a pretty standard 5'5" creature. Kind of looks like what's the race again, Anarian?
ASMR.
ASMR. Kind of looks like an ASMR currently. And is like holding up a rock and just kind of flicking it up in the air, catching it, thinking to himself, looking around, and Pod just sighs, and they go, "All right, let's get this over with then," and begins to stroll towards the church.
Okay.
They look like they're wearing typical leather armor, a little bit more intricate, like almost as if they had gone in and kind of carved their own stuff for practice on it, because why not? They just got they almost as if someone who is very finicky and ADHD would kind of like poke at themselves.
Okay.
And then like with the blue kind of robe-ish, like not turncoat's not the right word, like a noble would wear kind of deal over it, torn in various places, and just kind of opens the door into this grand entrance.
You see a
size again.
Yeah, you see this kind of marbled area, and then another set of open double doors into the primary sanctuary. Obviously, there's multiple levels and multiple, probably basements, all throughout this building, but the primary view is this massive chapel, all furnished with beautiful elements that emphasize the nearby reef garden that they see as sacred and holy. And so you have this massive statue at dead center, right behind the pulpit, if you will, and it is of this beautiful maternal older lady, and this is supposed to emphasize the Ahraden influence. You can see that she has little bits of coral chiseled into the various aesthetic, but all of the pews themselves are very comfy looking.
Odd note to this, but the look on their face indicates that they've kind of already seen all of this before, as if they had been here once or twice
Okay.
recently.
Mm-hmm.
And again, sighs. If only I was here to take that. But I'm not. And they take the rock and they will throw it into one of the stained glass windows.
Okay. You pick up a rock and you shatter very loudly one of the ancient and beautiful stained glass windows, which just crumples and scatters across the ground. And you hear, "What the fuck?" And this very maybe just past his prime human comes storming up. This is I wrote it down, Speaker Onart, and he goes, "Do you have any idea what you have done? Take this man at once, have him hung. We will kill this man in the streets." And you hear, "That is
dare you
quite
assume?"
yeah, and you hear, "That is quite enough." As the High Monarch of Ahraden
Oh, good.
walks into the room, bald, beautiful woman, also looks a lot like the statue, clearly is trying to, various tattoos of waves and very aesthetically done. She walks in her simple garb and her beautiful necklace, and she says, "Speaker Onart, I understand that tension is high, and with all of the influx of people, it is to be you are currently being held by many guards. It is understood that with the influx of people, the influx of crime will also be going up, but this is a time of celebration. What is your name, child?"
Me? Oh,
Yes.
I'm Pod.
Okay. You will not be joining us for the festivities, unfortunately. You can take him to the holding cells, and we can use this to our advantage. We can only be looked upon sympathetically by the Church of Tempestas, and we will do this smart-like, okay? And Speaker Onar goes, "That stained glass window is thousands, hundreds," he doesn't actually know how old it is, "so old and sacred. And how dare you!" And a calming hand is placed on Speaker Onart's hand, on shoulder by High Monarch Tristia, and says, "Take him away. Onart, we must speak of this." And you are quickly being bundled away by 7 massive clerics.
Talk to you later, Onart.
The second you're outside the building, they beat you.
No.
You take
I'd like to take the dodge action, please.
okay, restrained. While restrained, you don't take as much damage as and it kind of throws them for a loop, because even while held, you're wobbly and hard to pin down.
Every once in a while, the one of the arms almost seems to actually escape. Because it's almost like
grabbing you and pinning you back down.
Yeah, whoever's holding on to Pod's arm, suddenly the arm just gets smaller somehow, and then just goes back in.
I'm sorry.
Just slightly, just a couple of inches, but it's enough.
He's bendy. Hold him down.
Exactly.
Soon a bag is thrown over your head, and you're quickly bundled, quickly off to the jail, where you have 1 or 2 more gut punches before you are thrown in a cell.
Oh, that was more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Huh?
Huh?
You pull the bag off you and look over, and there's this really old turtle who has a ring of keys on his belt, and he's just like, "Did you not want to enjoy the festivities? Are you dumb? Are you simple? What's wrong with you?"
Oh, hello. No, I fully plan on doing the festivities. I just needed to collect what I brought in here.
He's crazy. All right, cool. And he kind of waddles off, and you see him book. And he's got his book, and he's and he's trying to ignore you, and you're peeking at him, and he's
Good. All right. So he's not paying attention to me. Good. Pod's gonna at some point like go to one of the like on the stone walls or whatever. I'm assuming stone, wood.
yeah,
what is
stone.
it?
You've got the traditional bars leading you out,
Cool.
and there's a bit of a gate that's locked.
Cool. So yeah, he'll kind of knock. They'll kind of knock around for a little bit, and
Start
then
knocking around. There's also a window that's barred.
There's like one that it feels a little bit more shifty, and so
Okay.
just they'll snap their fingers, and like a kitchen like knife kind of appears, like a bread knife or a
Is
wand.
there a verbal component?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So just kind of begins kind of carving a little bit so that it's smoothed out, and then takes the stone, and behind the stone is a wrapped up like ball of something,
Okay.
and they'll take that,
Okay. I like
put
it.
in there, and then go to the bars, and we're going to try and Pod's body kind of begins to shift and then becomes as small as possible. So a 4-foot thinnest creature you can think of to try and get through the bars.
Okay. Make an acrobatics as you start to try to like. All right. First, you got this bone clump, and then I've got and then I've got the pecs through there. Oh, a lot of pressure on my sternum.
Basically,
and you continue
imagine
moving
like
through.
the largest herringon you can see. You can
Okay.
think of.
Okay. Herringons can be small or medium.
Yes, but I cannot shapeshift into a small creature.
Right. Right.
So 4 foot. That is a 15 acrobatics.
Yeah, you managed to get through. Now you got to roll for stealth. Holy crap! That was the first roll.
It was.
Ah.
We did it.
It was so casual and so good.
That is better. 17 stealth.
17. Okay, you are hidden by book, and disgruntled turtle noises are heard that show that he is not alarmed at your escape.
Fair enough. That works. They'll make Pod will make their way to like kind of near the edge, and then when they're getting closer and closer, they'll shift back up to a larger size and try and imitate the what the turtle looks like.
Okay. Once you're out of view, or once you're in view, or like
Once
still...
right before I kind of walk out.
Okay. As you step through the threshold, timing it perfectly, you are a turtle. And you walk out into the open city of Furinor.
Carry on. Makes their way
A
out.
couple of guards walk past you, don't even look at you.
Cool.
All right.
Successful infiltration.
Nice. You're walking about the city, and the vibe is very much excited but calm because the festivities haven't started yet. Everyone's still rolling their wagons in. People are rolling barrels and moving people out of the way. Very crowded. And you can hear people tuning their instruments and people yelling at each other to... Oh, thank you for the Hail Hydrate. People yelling at each other to get everything organized. You can see various ribbons being thrown up and stuff like that. Many, many wagons are being rolled into the open areas and tucked away. And some of them are vendors. Others are performers of some kind.
Eventually, Pod will make. They apparently have a goal in mind of where they're headed, and it seems almost like a weird place to be because it doesn't matter where the location is. There's just a barrel in front of it, and on the barrel is this like purple pouch.
Okay.
And they'll just kind of snag the purple pouch and look into it real quick, see some thistleweeds, and be like, okay, wrap it up. Transform back into, or shapeshift back into the ASMR form, and make their way to a tavern.
Okay, you make your way to the tavern. As you turn away, you hear a gun being unloaded. Not shot. Someone taking the bullets out of their gun, who was unseen and guarding the purple pouch. But as you turned back into yourself and walked away, it was the disengage was called out. And someone sunk back into the shadows.
Cool.
Taylor, you're muted. Oh, okay. All right. you make your way towards a tavern.
So curious.
Yeah, so am I. I'm just kind of making this up.
Tavern is very busy, even for this midday crowd. And you can see all types of people. Mostly travelers, all trying to get the bartender's attention. There's no way you're getting a drink or food within 40 minutes. As everyone and their mother is here. They have all the cooks running around the clock, and it's just, this is the money-making opportunity for every small business in town, and they are earning it. That said, you see the individual you're looking for off in a shady corner in a booth made of wood. The booth, not the person. For trying to look subtle, the plague mask is a bit of a giveaway as a cleric of death. This individual quietly staring at a bowl of soup and not eating it. Seems to have gone cold.
Is there anything I could do with that bowl? I don't think so. You know what? There probably is. Pod will make their way over.
Okay.
And kind of stand behind and gets ready to sit down.
Okay.
But then notices this cold bowl of soup.
The reflective eyes of the plague mask, which seem to be made of bone, look back up to you, and kind of the head kind of tilts a little.
You really gotta eat that.
I'm afraid I've lost my appetite. Please, sit.
Disgusted, Pod will kind of like shift the pot. Well, okay. For a moment, Pod shifts the pot over and then goes, no. And they'll take the pot and the bowl or whatever and bring it over to the front.
He looks
right back.
he looks like, where are you going? As you leave.
Right back.
Goes over to the bartender.
Is this the kind of thing you're serving here?
Hey, what you want? Hello.
I'd like to make this soup better if you don't mind.
What?
Look, just I'll let me fix this for you, and then it'll kind of make his way.
Roll persuasion.
They're making their way, but whether or not the persuasion. Oh, okay, that's a 20 on the die. Okay, let's go with that 20.
He doesn't stop you. It's this older man, older human, and he just kind of watches you baffled. You know, he's mid pouring a drink, and it overflows. He's like, fuck, and he starts cleaning it up. and you go back into the kitchen where you see like
back in the kitchen, pulls off like just a random chef apron and just whips it around them as they just begin working without paying any attention to the cooks.
There are people like squirming to get around you and like, what is he? What who is this? You know, and you just,
I am smaller, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
And using my chef feat, I will make a delicious dish.
Okay.
It's offensive to Pod if someone says they've lost their appetite.
Yeah, it's just been one of those whatever's in the pot. They're just throwing out, you know, D-class gumbo basically. It's not even spicy.
With the side quest completed, we return back to the desk.
You return, and Task is writing things down and something, and he looks up, and he tucks all that away and pockets it. You can see his hands are all horribly burned, and the skin is melted a bit in places. In almost all the places, he barely has any fingernails. And you see, as you reapproach, he starts putting his gloves back on.
I don't know how many times I've told you this before, but no one ever loses their appetite whenever you're around me.
I have forgotten your intricacies, but
Still got the apron on.
it is appreciated.
And as he kind of looks around a bit and then slowly takes the mask off and puts it to the side, and he is horribly disfigured. He is full melty. His face is potched. with all these acid burns, and you can see one eye drooped down over, his lips barely work, he's missing many teeth. He probably can't eat whole foods, which is a great store. And he slowly, it's all right, and he takes the spoon and he
You
starts
don't
like
want to eat the store. The store is just...
sipping. A little bit dribbles down, and he dabs at it and goes,
So, how did it go?
It's around. Places the bundle in front with hand still on it.
mm-hmm.
You have what I want.
Yes, if this is what I believe it to be, if you have succeeded.
And he takes he has many interwoven almost for a cleric of death, he is more witchy vibes, and he's got various plants like woven into his outfit, and you watch as he breaks off a thorn and starts just grinding it into his palm, and then he casts identify, and he goes,
Yes.
and he takes out a separate pouch containing information that he has clearly written out prior, and puts it on the table.
A gift for the cleric of death, and the Church of Amiss does not need to know about this. Yes.
Of course not. Right. Simply looking out for our own mutual beneficiaries.
And then he starts he goes, this is good, and he starts dogging the soup.
Right. Well, if you need anything else, just let me know.
Quite.
Says to leave it there.
Okay. Refresh me on what exactly you were looking for, because I have multiple things to tell you from the pouch.
As Pod is pulling up through all these pages, Pod decided to work with the Church of Death because they have a fascination with death and the ceremonies involved, and
Yes.
Whether or not the souls that are within each sentient being are actually going to where the gods say they're going to go, and or if they are, are they judged, are they not judged, and what people are experiencing as they are dying.
Yes. So, in exchange for that skull that you just delivered to Task, you are given specifics on the ceremony spells that the Church of Death holds close and dear, and if you were to cast ceremony, ooh, that's an interesting phone call. I'm not going to pick that up right now. If you were to cast your ceremony spell, you could now flavor it somewhat to the Church of Death's vibe. You also get some interesting information for your quick and efficient work. And that is the Church of Ahraden. Here's what you already know. The Church of Ahraden finds the nearby garden reefs sacred and performs many rituals out there. The new bit of information that you get is that there is a ruin out there. Very ancient ruin that predates the Church of Ahraden. You also discover that there in Farron's Pass, somewhere long lost to the Church of Death, is an ancient catacomb. And if you are looking for new and tasty information about the Church of Death, Task would likely be very generous with his thanks of whatever you can get. Mutually beneficial, of course.
Okay.
It's at this time, when you're mulling over this information, you hear, "Get the fuck out of the way!" And you look up, and there is a towering lad with a big ol' hat. Just big hat. Just flamboyant, very, very handsome, clearly a bard, and he's got a bit of a walking stick, and he looks very well traveled. Behind him is roughly 9 wagons. He goes, "If you will please step aside, my friend." Kind of gently gently tries to make sure you don't get trampled by the wagons with his cane as he gently tries to push you out of the way.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I didn't mean to be away.
Of course, my friend, of course. Come by to see the roa later.
Oh, I'm sorry, the what?
The roa. Mine kin! And he gestures with extravagance to his 9 wagons. Make a perception check. He's just talking over. He's just full berries, just the most.
You said perception.
Yes, sir.
22.
22. Very good. A whole bunch of things stand out to you. Mainly that one of the wagons is open and there's a puppet show going and a bunch of kids are like clambering along beside. It looks like a Mod Podge of a bunch of different humanoids who all see themselves as family, though clearly not blood related. Jocelyn, the ringleader, if you will, the head of the Roa, is who you were just talking to. You can see a couple of tumblers and motley, one individual just playing his heart out on a cello on the very tail end, accompanied by an individual on a fiddle, and standing on top of that last wagon is Dorky's character. Sitting next to her, kind of feet dangling over the side and knitting together a wreath crown of some kind, is Taylor's character. Would the two of you like to describe yourselves?
All right, so you see Eshna, who is a Kalashtar with pale skin with kind of like almost silver-esque freckles across her face. She has long blonde hair, gold makeup on, just a long dress that kind of hugs her form, but has a nice slit open down the side to show off the goods. And she's just very posed and elegant, and apparently knitting a head crown. And that is Eshna.
Right, and then my character is Lavina Vetra, and she has big curly red hair that towards the end of it seems to get darker and darker, and it's sort of odd gradient effect that is questionable whether it's natural or not. She does have a very outgoing personality. She's very bright. She's very smiling and talking, and you know, her eyes are everywhere, looking at everything, back and forth between things. She wears a headband that is bedazzled with diamonds. Whether they are real or not, that is also up to question. She has a sort of crop top that has little sleeves that hang off the side that connect to this flowy, sheer gray cape. And she has slitted pants and is barefoot with just like little wraps around her ankles and legs. And yeah, just sitting and occasionally amongst looking at everything, looking back to see the progress of Eshna's crown, saying, oh, that's looking really good. And then back to looking at everything, talking to everyone, just very, very ball of energy.
I finish up my little crown and I throw it to one of the children.
Okay. Kid catches it, and she goes, wow, thank you, and puts it on, and then another kid goes, give me that, and she goes, nah. They both scurry away.
Eshna's gonna stand and give a bow to the girl who now has the flower crown, like my lady.
She grabs her little skirts and she curtsies. And then the kid gets it. She's like, no! And she chases.
I'm gonna start making just another one while we're sitting there.
Okay.
Pod like sees this, and their hair just slowly becomes the same color as Lavina's, as they're just staring.
Is that Roa?
Who are you asking?
the
Jocelyn?
the MC, yeah.
We are the Roa. And he extends a hand.
Oh, gracious. God takes it.
He and he does a little bow, and then he kisses the back of your hand mischievously, and he
Blush.
and he says, "You seem to have quite a knack for appearances." He leans in real close. Let me know if you're ever looking for work, my friend.
It's, well, I've got 2 jobs, but it's just me.
I bet you I can attempt to pay better.
And Pod sneezes, and the hair just immediately goes back into ASMR form.
Okay, I will try to do better. You got a gift, my friend. A gift.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Quite all right.
Levy is gonna see the interaction and obviously sees the change in hair, and her eyes just go wide, like, oh my gosh. And she gives Eshna like a small, like, little tap, like, I'm going now, and starts going from cart to cart, kind of like making her way to get towards where they are.
Okay, I like it.
And
Well, off we go, and I just casually walk behind her, handing another crown to another child.
Okay.
And as she moves through the crowd, she does little, like, almost like dance moves, like just moving, like barely touching anyone as she, like, very skillfully maneuvers through the crowd. And
I'm casting a druid craft behind her, so all the flowers that happen behind her just grow as she passes.
And she'll come straight up to Pod and just be like, oh my gosh, you are stunning. I saw you from over there, and I just, the thing with the hair, that was really cool, by the way, but oh my gosh, you were beautiful.
Pod's getting all of these compliments, and as Lavina is complimenting Pod, like, their chest kind of like starts to puff up a little bit as they get a little bit larger and just kind of like a little bit more, not muscly, but like they're definitely trying to, like, mechanically they have a strength of 8, so like it's just like it's almost ridiculous.
You're doing your best.
They're doing their best. Just puff up.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It was very, very attractive.
Oh my gosh, do you have a cold?
All the time.
Eshna's really good with herbs. She can definitely give you something for that, I'm sure.
Oh, a gift? You're gonna give me a gift?
Is your throat hurting? I'm sure she has something.
Oh,
What?
you have a sore throat? Hold on, here. And as I've made my way finally up to them, I reach into my bag and just hand out a little candy that I've made that's normally for children but will work as a throat lozenge. Here you are.
Oh, you're lucky. Those are really good.
Thank you.
And then she goes, okay, well, thank you for this time and for blessing us with your presence, but I want to give you something as well. And she's going to pull out a makeshift bracelet in this case that just has beautiful stones wrapped all around with a few that dangle down. Here you go.
Oh, you did
Mm,
such a
take
lovely
that.
job on that one.
I'm like,
Yeah.
also try to put it in the mouth a little bit.
No.
No.
This one's a bracelet.
Ashna, a light tap on your back, and you turn, and Jocelyn says, thank you again for traveling with us all this way. Hopefully we can work together more in the future, but as for now, I do believe that our agreement has come to a conclusion. And he hands you both, he hands you 2 bags of 45 gold each.
Oh.
And he goes, please, if you feel like, and he gestures to Lavina as well, if you feel like doing more work, there will be work aplenty here at the festival. Come find us. As the 9 carts continue to roll onwards, and a couple people behind them moving barrels and stuff, and he goes, an absolute pleasure. You were both, truly are, part of the family, part of the ring.
Oh. Well, thank you so much for having us in your family. I can't wait to see you again. I'm sure that we will catch many of your performances throughout this event.
This was so much fun. And she's just gonna, like, tackle him.
And he gives you a big hug back. He picks you up a little bit and spins you around a little bit and puts you back down. He goes, wonderful, wonderful.
I just give him a light tap on the arm.
Gives you a big smile.
Farewell.
And he continues on his merry way, yelling at people to move out of the way in his as nice a manner as he can.
Oh, before we go, I didn't catch your name. Gesturing to Pod, holding out a hand.
Hello, I'm Pod.
Pod? It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Lavina. You can call me Levy, though.
Oh,
And I'm Eshna. Nice to meet you, Pod.
it's nice to meet you both, Ishna, Levy. It's good. Yes. Why were you here? You here for the festival?
Yes. We were just traveling along on our way here. Lovely Levy here is a beautiful dancer. So hopefully we can put on some performances. If not, until then, we're just going to enjoy. How about yourself?
I'll answer that as soon as I know. Does my brother know that I'm here?
Anarian does not know
Okay.
that you are here.
Okay.
I'm just here on business.
Lovely. It's nice when it coincides with fun events.
Oh yeah, business and pleasure usually coincide for me.
Speaking of speaking of business, the Roa, this particular band of Roa, under Jocelyn, are sponsored by Marin, whom some of you might remember from last campaign. He was the druid that was very helpful. He has come into a lordship of his own in the past 100 years and belongs to House Fold. And many lords will have their own traveling troops to preach the good name of their house and do, all of the PR for them, so that when they send around the tax collectors, there's a bit of love already produced there, and it stings a little less.
Great. Well, would you like to explore the festivities together, or do you have work duties to do?
No, I'm done. You
Oh,
want
really?
to hang out with me?
Yeah.
Of
Oh.
course.
Excellent.
As long as you're okay hanging out with us.
Oh, yeah, so it's fine. Yeah, that'd be nice.
We enjoy making friends wherever we go, so come along.
Okay, sure.
Levy is gonna link arms with both of them.
Okay. The three of you begin lions and tigers and bears oh-mying through the festival and enjoying the
I call Scarecrow.
festivities. What was that, Eshna?
Nothing. I'm
Okay.
just going, ooh.
Nice.
I'm oohing and ahhing at the things.
Nice. Anarian, Thylo. The two of you are currently enjoying the retinue of soldiers, famed knights from various lordships traveling through the area, and you watch as two of them kind of are very extravagantly brandying insults, and it's a little cringe, it's a little fake, but you cannot deny that they cut a marvelous figure in their their shining plate mail. Thylo, you currently have some brand new food that you've never experienced before that can only be found in Furinor, being so close to these reefs. Furinor prides itself on its rare delicacies of seafood. Anarian, you are watching closely and noting all of the various factions that have come to joust and curry favor with House Thorn and the various churches that are sponsoring this. Out of the corner of your eye, Anarian, you note your brother, whom you did not expect to see here. He often disappears on work, as do you, from time to time. But he is accompanied by two stunning individuals, as he himself is also quite beautiful. And the three of them make a stand out amongst the peasantry. Thylo and Anarian, what you guys up to?
Well, Pod isn't here at the moment, so I will delay my.
That's fair.
What do you guys look
my
like?
response.
That's a good question.
Anarian looks very much like this because I'm a lazy cosplayer and I don't feel like putting makeup when I inevitably do cosplay for him. But no, about 6 feet tall, blue eyes, hair's back, but he's got a few stray strands that kind of fall in front of his face sometimes. Normally he goes around with like a breastplate with a dark blue kind of coat over it, but as he's here just for fun of the festival, he just kind of has a tabard of a miss or something church related on it.
Sure.
We may be like near, but Anarian doesn't actually know Thylo,
Right.
So we're just kind of in the vicinity. So Anarian will see Pod and immediately make his way over, excitedly because he didn't know.
Okay.
He'll kind of rush in at an angle where he can be seen from the front and not sneak up behind or anything like that. But Pod,
You know Pod too well.
what's you doing here? I thought you should have told me you were coming to the festival.
Hi. Yeah, it's good to see you, sibling.
And just give him the hug, almost like a jump on. How tall is Anarian again?
Like 6 foot.
Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, pretty much a jump
Yeah.
onto Anarian.
Big hug
I
back.
missed you. It's been a few weeks. Sorry about that. I've been working.
Now the church has had me busy too. I finally got some free time, so I thought I'd come see what the fuss is about.
Right, that's also why I'm here, because of the festival.
He just kind of gives a look, but doesn't question it because Pod has always kind of served, a miss in his own way, and Benarin serves him, so whatever. And who's this?
Oh, yeah, this is my new companion, best friends. My new best friends. It's Eshna and Lavina, and one of them's got red hair, and the other one's got a fun crown. You should have them make.
They're totally saying this out loud, like everyone can hear.
You should totally ask to see the magic of the flowers that they can do. It's really cute.
Wow, pleasure to meet you both. I'm Anarian, Pod's sibling.
Lovely to meet you, Anarian.
Yes, it's very nice to meet you. What all have you seen so far? We just got here, so
Yes.
I'm not sure what all I want to hit first at the festival.
Well, over there, they've got some really, really good turkey legs. They're massive and they're wrapped with bacon. They're candied. It's excellent. And then the jousting's over there, and I love watching the jousting. Someday, maybe I'll try it, but I'd probably die, so probably not. I'll just watch. What have you seen so far?
Yeah, Pod. What have you seen so far? What have you done?
It's a there's a lot of good masonry here, and a lot of good fun churches with lots of
the
good
architecture must be
stained glass.
amazing. I'll
There's
have to look at the
very-
architecture.
Yes, you should in depth, just really close up on the architecture. And the catacombs are also pretty nice. Not that I've seen the catacombs very closely, but
Are you studying the dead again?
Listen, Church of the Rest, all right? Church of, what was it, Hadoken or something? It's all...
Raiden, how dare you? My world building!
I tried so hard not to say the word, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, it's Hadoken. Dang it.
It's better than falafel.
It is.
That was
It's Church of the Rest. Well, how can you not see the catacombs of the Church of the Rest? Come on.
You're studying the dead?
Oh yes, I like the dead a lot.
I would be interested to hear more about that later.
Oh, okay.
Eshna chimes into Levy's head. Yes, I guess we could. But how do we feel about these two? Are you okay here?
They're both very handsome. So I'm very good right now.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's what I
You
thought your
sighing,
answer would be.
Eshna. I can hear the sigh. Do you disagree? I mean, you can't disagree this time.
It's not that I disagree, but let's not have another person who says that they're interested in death and you get distracted by their good looks, okay?
They are quite handsome.
I got a 13
Thank
charisma.
you for being the voice of wisdom for me. I will keep that in mind.
All right.
Meanwhile, Philo, you have been diligently making sure that it looks like you're watching the nights go by, and you look like you're thoroughly enjoying the seafood, and maybe you are, but past all that, past the buildings, there's a little window of area, and you are studying the reef out in the ocean. You're doing your best to make it look like you're not, but you watch as, well, make a perception check.
That's a 9.
9? Okay. You see a couple of individuals, probably people of the Church of Hraden, on boats. And you see them in these very ornate, ritualistic cloaks and the like. And they are on little rowboats, and you can see that they're chanting and doing things as servants, rowing them out there, and they move out, and you kind of can't quite see what's going on, but they're clearly up to stuff, and that's sus.
There's just a hawk above them, and
Okay.
I can see from the hawk's perspective.
Okay, now with that, I will
didn't
give you
really
advantage on your perception check, and you can roll it again.
Well, it's based off of what the hawk.
Oh,
hawk's
fair.
doing, so I have to look up Hawk 5E.
And what does Stylo look like?
Oh, yes, very important.
Yeah. So Thylo looks like a peasant.
Okay.
He's wearing a cloak from head to toe, but the cloak is very patchwork, and it looks like somebody who's that great at sewing has sewn on a bunch of pockets
Okay.
over the cloak, and very few of them actually match the color of the cloak. And he has the hood up, but if the hood falls off, you can kind of see. He's very tall. He's 6'3", is very skinny. He's slightly orange, and he's an elf. But because there's really not very many elves in this area, and the idea of elves is very, very kind of not great from a lot of people. Usually when he goes out, he either puts some cosmetics on his ears or does it with magic, and he just makes them look like human ears. I'm just a tall, skinny, orange human looking thing, and my hair is very messy. See, it looks like I've almost tried to keep it right, and then I just have like one little piece of alpha just kind of off the head.
Just a little.
And he wears glasses and gloves. You can't see much skin other than like what you can see through the hood of the cloak on his face.
Very good. And let's get that perception check from the hawk.
Okay, perception is a +4 on the hawk. So that would be 11.
11. Interesting. Because of the perspective, it's much easier to see. You can see that they have these almost flails, if they were filled with incense, and so you can see that one of them is chanting and swinging it around and make these big halo, big arcs of incense and smoke. And there's an individual, a very, very old man who seems ill. Go ahead.
I just read on the thing. I have advantage on perception checks that rely on sight.
Do it again. Do it again.
Ooh, now it's a 13.
Yeah. Excellent. He's clearly dying. And it's the one individual in the ship who isn't wearing anything ornate, but has now these markings, this paint on their face and on every joint, and he seems at peace with whatever is going on. You do watch as they prick his palm and it starts to bleed a little, and they continue this beautiful ceremony rite, and when he's ready, they throw him overboard.
And this is part of the ceremony, or is
Yes,
this just
this is
happening
part
in
of-
like a secluded?
This is way out in the reef. Like, you're only seeing this because of the hawk. This is not something that the average
Right.
person is even able to really see what's going on. But no one's allowed out in the reef because it's considered a sacred ground for their rituals and stuff. And they've clearly tied weights to his ankles. And from your perspective, you can see that there's all of this beautiful reef, all of these kind of little islands of coral breaching the water, except right where they are, which has this massive 100-foot radius hole of just black, deep water. And they assist him essentially in getting in the water, and he is gone. And they continue their ritual. Slowly they finish they finish up their ritual, and that's kind of everything of import that you watch. With a 13, you don't see what happens underwater or anything like that. We'll be right back, chat.
Sure.
Very excited. Also, real quick, this amazing art that you're seeing was made by Taylor and Tracy, and she's open for commissions. So you should hire her. All right.
Oh, wait.
Going to break. Oh, I love watching that D20. It makes me very happy. So, Ben, Thylo Match has just watched through a hawk the sacred secret rituals of the Church of Rest.
As I'm sitting in the, so I come back into my own head at this point, and as I'm sitting in, I'm in the arena of the jousting arena.
It's not so much, they're just moving by, making their way to the stadium.
Making my way.
Oh, you also note, I should have led with this. I'm sorry, real quick. You also note a massive bridge just going over the horizon. I'm talking 6 horses in a line can walk this bridge, and it's very high, and you can see distantly that there's a massive keep built into the bridge. And you would know that there are many keeps along this bridge all the way to the island of Pardon. So yeah, that's there too. And you can, and as a hawk that's like looming, and as you come back, it's like the same size, and it's huge.
Got it. Okay. So my hawk is kind of just circling the area, doing slow, lazy loops.
Sure.
And as I kind of get this information about the secret rituals and stuff, I'm so intrigued. I kind of like reach for my book, and as I'm reaching for my book, I kind of nudge the plate of food that I'm holding.
Okay.
And I drop it on somebody.
Yeah,
and,
there's a
just throw the plate of food into a person.
There's a dude rolling a barrel, and he's very much trying to like make sure he doesn't run everyone over. He goes, "Oh, come on, shit! What the fuck?"
I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And then I pressed digitation, try to like magic the food off of him.
Yeah.
But there's still some food on my hand, so it looks like I'm just kind of flinging more food at him.
He gets progressively more and more upset, and then he kind of notices that you're trying to clean him off. I just dropped a dice. It's an official episode. And he goes, "Thanks."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like scurry away.
Okay. Hang on.
Off.
Okay.
I just kind of scurry off towards more people.
Okay.
And I have so my spell book Ghost is kind of like on the outskirts, like walking around the festival, just kind of like looking in at people. And so I'm just kind of like speed walking away from this person, this barrel pusher. And my eye just starts kind of like rolling off to the side, and like I smack it back into the middle of my head. And then my other eye kind of like rolls back up into the back of my head as the hawk is like circling above me. And I'm like having a freak out. My book is open and there's just a quill that's just like drawing out and writing all of the secret things that I just saw. And I'm just trying to find anybody that I recognize, which I don't really leave my house. So the only people that I would recognize is people that I know from the Wizarding College. Or my own father.
Okay, so the apparition, or maybe the hawk, or maybe you. It's all kind of jumbling about in your head, all these different POVs, and you bump into some dude, and this massive dragonborn guard turns and goes,
"Hey, watch where you're going."
And out of the corner of some eye somewhere, you're not sure which one, you notice Pod. You see him. You see them, and it's the hair, and he looks a little flustered, and they're very excited. Damn it! I'm getting a sticky note. They are very excited, and they're in the company of a Kalishtar, an Asimir, and I believe a human, right? I'm not misplaying. Probably a human. A human individual, and they're all apparently gorgeous. Just all of them. They look great.
Yeah, we're
and this guard,
in the wind.
and you're trying to clock this guard from your many POVs, and finally all your various perspectives close in on this guard, who is, even for you, towering and looming and very upset, maybe slightly drunk.
So I bump into the guard. The moment I bump into the guard, anybody who's looking up at the hawk just sees the hawk disappear.
Okay.
But not in like a kind of way. It's as if it goes into an invisible thing, and then just like from the head all the way to the tail, like as it passes this like arbitrary line in the sky, it just kind of like disappears.
De-renders.
And yeah, and so my eye just kind of like spins around real fast and then slowly just like locks back into the normal position. And I go, "I am so sorry. I thought you were someone else." And then I like beeline it towards Pod.
Are you all right? Oh, okay. And he's kind of watching you. He kind of watches you scurry. Hang on. Yep. And Pod, what's your passive perception? Actually, I have it. I know this. Hang on. I could be a good DM. Their passive perception is 17. So you would note, you would note Thylo just quickly beelining towards you, and in kind of a panic.
Oh. Hi, my best friend's coming.
I thought I was your best friend.
Oh. Right. Well, you are too. Why can't I have more than one best friend?
She's like, okay, cool.
I have this thing that I do where I see him and I know that I know him somehow, but I'm not sure that it is Pod at this moment. So I like look into my book and start flipping through the pages, and I realize that I'm running out of time. And so I just look up at Pod and I yell out my own name. Just yell, "Hey, Thylo match!"
Ow! And then like the Pod's face just contorts into yours. Yeah, that's me.
That is
And then
so cool.
I just very quietly to myself just go, yes, I know that one. And then I go back to the book and I'm flipping through the book and then I find a picture of Pod and it just says Pod nice on it. I said, actually, here are all of my notes that I have for Pod. Pod, do I know you're a changeling?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it just in the book, it's just a picture of Pod's face, and it says ASMR ? And then that's scratched out, and then it says changeling ! Soul knife rogue ? Cook ! Nice. Underlined 3 times.
So I gotta ask,
And then
how are your drawing skills?
you're gonna have to ask the quill.
So is the quill talented? Is it like this master portrait, or is it like?
It's quite good. I wouldn't say it can best master crafts status, but it is magical and made to be able to make beautiful renderings if needed. Mostly calligraphy. Actual pictures is not as good, but it's better than what I'm certainly capable of as a person.
I would say the pictures are good enough that you would know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also proficient with cartographer's tools, so I have that going. And so I close the book and I shove it into like a big pocket on the side, and the cloak immediately just kind of like gets dragged down onto that side a little bit more. And I go, Pod, friend, how are you?
How far away are you?
Not far.
Okay. And then just they'll shake their head, and the reforms back into Pod's face. There's like an eye, it's like slightly tilted down, just kind of gets it back up.
Hey, Philo, it's you. Hello, welcome. Why are you here? You're so far away. From home.
Yes. So my dad said that it would be good for me to get out of the house, and what better place to leave the house than a spot where there's a lot of people and loud noises and craziness going on.
Oh,
And a bridge.
surprise.
It's so good to see you. And just like I throw one last look over my shoulder to see if the guard has followed me.
The guard has watched you stumble away, and then seeing it, basically he got to the point where he was like, is this kid okay? And then seeing that you were with a group of other people, he goes, not my problem, and has kind of lumbered away.
Okay, I see this, and I look back at Pod, and I just go, and then I focus for just a second, and then if anybody's looking up in the sky at all, the hawk just kind of reappears out of some random door and starts circling the area again.
Okay.
And I can't explain what's happening if you really want me to.
I understand
With
what's
that.
going on, but
Okay.
if you would,
See, I told you there was a hawk. I told you I'm not crazy. There was one. And there it is again.
there are many
She's
birds.
like tapping Eshna like
There are
I
birds
told you.
everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like
Mostly gulls.
well, yeah,
A hawk over a city
job.
is somewhat untraditional, but still definitely feasible. Thylo and everyone else who looks up notes that there are various Aarakocra guards with long spears or glaives, who are just flying around, keeping the peace, keeping an eye out on things, and likely they will have to clear the air soon, because of fireworks.
Oh, fun.
But for now, they're kind of just making sure that there aren't any people in the air for when the fireworks appear. Indeed, you see an owlin, especially Thylo. You see an owlin kind of scurrying about, and 2 guards come over and just and quickly returns to the surface.
Jake, do you and does Anarion and
Anarion.
Pod, do you guys look Anarion? Do you guys look similar at all? Is there enough there that with a passive intelligence of 16, I'd be able to clock you two as siblings?
During work, I've probably almost definitely talked about Anarian before, and the design of the ASMR that Pod chooses is kind of similar to their brother, where with the like my hair is just as long, but just way wavier and poofier and majestic and just like gorgeous. And then Pod, there's no facial hair, there's no beard, but there is like a much larger mustache. It's almost as if the facial hair attempted to go everywhere, but only stuck to the mustache. It's just like the same amount of hair on the facial, but only on the mustache. You know what I mean?
Okay, so then I look at. This is just.
Look at the camera.
I don't know. I don't know what just happened there, man.
He fuzzes out a little as his both eyes this time kind of swirl off in various
I don't
directions. There you go.
I don't even have blur. Okay, it's good now. I look at Anarion, and I go, you must be Anarion. Pod has talked about you multiple times.
Oh, really? All good things, I hope. He's mentioned you as well. Finally good to meet you.
Yeah, and I shake out my hand, but with no strength whatsoever. It's just kind of like a limp noodle has been sent out.
Just...
Do you also have an 8 strength?
Just wags the wet noodle a little bit.
What a peculiar little group.
And then I look at Eshna, and I don't really do anything, but then I look at Lavina, and I just immediately go super red in the face. And I just go, And then my left eye just kind of rolls off to the side.
Lavina just hears in her head, no, no, no.
Nice to meet you. She's gonna say, like, not really approaching. I'm Levy. This is Eshna.
Hello, nice to meet you.
The book comes out. I pull the book out, and the quill just starts sketching your faces and your names down.
How can you say no? And she's saying this to Eshna telepathically. How can you say no?
I look at that one. You're gonna break that one's heart. Come on.
Come on, give him some credit.
Oh, I said you're gonna break his heart. Look at how red his face is. You can tell he's normally
she's
orange.
Already over and looking over his shoulder. And you said he's really tall.
Mm-hmm.
Did Philo's like how tall?
Like 6'4".
6'3", 6'4".
6'3".
JK around the arm, and just kind of rests her head against the side of his arm. Wow, that's a real talent.
The magical. Go ahead.
Yeah, the quill immediately like wipes itself over the page, and everything just disappears.
Aw, it was really good. Why would you get rid of it?
The quill very slowly reveals it again, but I have not moved or spoken.
Eshna.
Eshna is just like, oh, Ken. Every time she goes for the one that turns red.
I could turn red. Just kind of pokes.
I write down in my notes, Bob the Tomato NPC.
Wait. And she's gonna whisper this, decently quietly to Thylo. So, does your quill is doing that? You're not? Your quill?
The quill is magic, but it's not like fully on its like I'm doing at least some of like I'm controlling some of this is me.
That is amazing.
Out of the corner of your eye, Lavina, you see a small platform where a pressure lever exists, and a big glass tube with a flump inside of it. And you can see this kid, he's got a little hammer, and and it shoots the flump up a little bit as the flump goes bright blue and slowly floats back down, and a quite rotund halfling hands him a little candy and ruffles his hair, and the kid runs over to his mom and eats the candy and is very happy.
Oh my gosh, it's a game. Guys, I'm gonna be over there. And she's already like making her way through the crowd towards the game.
Yep. All right. Well, lovely to meet all of you. If you'd like to follow us, we're just going to do festivities, I guess.
Lavina in the crowd
crazy
is gonna start jumping as high as she can over the crowd.
Okay.
Just be like, come on! And then, whee! She's gone.
I'm sure she would love if you would join us.
Cool.
Great. As I turn around, I'm gonna just close my eyes, and as I open them, they start to glow, and I'm gonna look for magical items as I walk around.
Okay. You make a perception check.
Ooh, that's gonna be a 19 on the die. With 21.
21. There are various magical items all throughout, and so you can see that there are invisible weir lights ready to pop open and give off light in a festive nature once the sun goes down. You can even see a few stashes nearby in protected towers at the top of buildings of fireworks that clearly have magical nature. Pod himself is a fey-like magical being and probably denotes as such. The magical quill, of course, and the other magical artifacts around the party. On Thylo, the flump is giving off a magical aura. Some guards have strange, interesting objects on their person that you can't see, but you can see the glow of in their pockets, implying there's something small. The occasional lord or lady might walk by, and you might see on their person a magical floating sword. These individuals specifically are of House Thorn, and all of the magical floating swords, sometimes it's a shield, are of a similar make, that bright silver with blue accents. Floating alongside them, you might see the occasional one gesture at their shield or sword and say something, and implying that they are indeed sentient. You see the occasional cleric with their magical. Good lord, what do the clerics have? Totems? No.
Divine focus.
Yeah, thank you. Divine focuses. And you do note one building and one vendor wagon, both which have many auras of magic glowing from them.
I'm going to just pop into Levy's mind. I'm so have fun with your game. I'm going to be at that cart over there. Good luck.
Nope, you're muted.
I'm so glad to see you're starting to trust me more, Eshna.
Oh, this is gonna go great.
I cast Flock of Familiars,
Okay.
and suddenly 3 small bears pop up around Levy.
3 little cubs, and they kind of roll and tumble around and look around all happy.
Thank you for the reminder. Love you.
Be safe.
The last thing you notice, Eshna, as you cast Detect Magic, is that the hat that Thylo has, or the hood rather, I'm not sure which it is, it's a hood. It's a hood, is magical in itself as well.
Okay. Interesting. I keep one of the cubs. So the cubs kind of will check at Levy, but most of the cubs will keep their eye on one of each of these 3.
Okay.
Just
Smart.
staring him down.
Very mama bear.
They like spectral, or are they like fully like bears?
They're spectral. They look like little spectral familiars.
So they're not like fluffy and I can't pet it.
Thylo,
No, I mean, you can try it. They look like little clouds kind of stars, so they all have little stars dancing along inside of them.
Thylo, the ghost that stays with you from your book, is absolutely enamored by the cubs. Eshna, you approach the wagon vendor, and you see an older lady, and she goes, "Hello, darling.
Oh, hello, ma'am. How are you today?
I'm phenomenal. It's a beautiful day.
Oh.
Bless the rest."
It is. What do you have here?
Well, I have all sorts of various narcotics. And she starts going into various substances that she makes personally, and profess their healing nature properties, as well as some of the psychoactive properties, and various buzzes and highs that she has made to vend here at the event. She clearly favors one of them. It's this kind of paste substance that has been dried. It seems to be made of plant. And she goes, "This will leave you completely sane, darling. But everything will look startling, and for the fireworks later, I'll be taking it myself."
Oh, well, I was going to ask for your recommendation, and that sounds like a lot of fun.
Excellent.
How much would it be?
That'll be 10 gold, dear.
And how much does 10 gold? Is that for one dose?
Oh, no,
or-
darling, I'll give you a pouch. And you can roll
wonderful.
a d6 to see how many uses it has. And if you roll a 1, you get to reroll.
Has 5.
5. All right, 5 doses.
1 for each of us.
Oh God! Just we're gonna end this episode of the 5 of y'all, just chilling on a bench, being like, "Whoa!"
Mama Bear's gotta let loose a little. All right. Thank you kindly. I'm excited to experiment.
Excellent. If you need anything else, my name is Jenna.
Jenna, lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. The 12 bless you.
And you. Walks back over to Levy.
Okay. All right, Levy, you hop up on the stage, and a very portly, rotund halfling goes, "Hello! Welcome to the Flump Flop. How this is gonna work? It's gonna be 1 silver, and you're going to, with all of your might, take this ornate hammer, magic hammer, and as hard as you can onto the platform, and then the flump will go whoop, and the higher it goes, the better prize you get."
Oh, and what makes it magic?
Well, our dear flump, ding ding ding, it waves a little tentacle, is in itself quite magical. He doesn't mind at all.
All right, I'll give it a go. And takes out
All right.
silver.
He takes it, pockets it. Well, he takes it, looks at it, pockets it, and then hands you the hammer and flourishes majestically to the mechanism at your disposal.
All right, wish me luck. And she's going to back up. I'm trying to do something that adds a little bit more into it.
Okay.
I want her to do a flip and then coming down.
Nice.
Okay.
That's when she brings the hammer down.
Now you are extraordinary with things like flips and the like. So while I am going to make you do an acrobatics check, it is a pretty easy check.
Why do you think I added the flip in?
That's smart. That's smart.
Ooh, okay. You said acrobatics.
Normally this would be in athletics, but you be doing stuff.
19.
19. Excellent. With the momentum of this flip and bringing the hammer down, you hit it pretty soundly, and you watch as the flump goes higher and higher and higher and reaches easily the top 2/3 region of the cylinder, and it turns a bright yellow and starts doing a little happy dance as it slowly starts floating back down. Oh, that was quite amazing! That was exceptional! Here you go! And he takes out this bag of treats and a small little token. And he goes, "You can take this token to the Church of Hayden, and they will give you a blessing."
Oh!
And a bag of candy.
Oh! Thank you!
You're most welcome, dear.
All that for just some candy. Gonna go back over to the rest and be like, okay, everybody eat up.
Okay, what's everyone else doing?
Has the jousting started yet?
Not yet. But there is the stadium you can make your way towards. Basically, that will be the first main event after they officially decide which side of the house Thorn, which family branch becomes the new lord. There is an interesting multi-generational competition going on. A friendly competition within the house name, of course. And they essentially want to see how many keeps one side or the other has been able to acquire and build over the generations. And upon the bridge finally being completed, they will have their first official count and things will be announced. Obviously, both sides probably already know who's going to win because it's hard to hide how many keeps you've constructed along a massive ass bridge. But big ceremony, then jousting, and probably fireworks. So you've got probably a few hours to kill before the official jousting tournament.
And have there been any rumors about this broken window yet?
Would you like to make an investigation, kind of move about the crowd and see what you hear?
Sure.
There is a rumbling going on outside, so if I suddenly disappear, guys, it's because we lost power.
Are you doing
no.
this investigation silently, like by yourself, or are you letting, like?
I mean, I wouldn't even call it investigation because he's just like wandering the crowd and just
Perception.
happens to hear.
Happens to hear things.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not like actively looking
Okay.
for anything in particular.
Okay, very good. Oh, thank you. Excellent. You've been moving throughout the crowd for some time now and have picked up a few things. There was briefly a fire that was put out by the market district. There is a new, gorgeous, huge warship that has arrived at port. And a couple acts of vandalism have been going about. One of which, some asshole threw a whole rock through the stained glass window of the Church of Hayden.
And what is the relationship between churches? Is it
Friendly
generally like
competition is what the general knowledge is. As general knowledge, you, my friend, being a member of the church, know that some of the churches are up to some shady stuff, but the other churches aren't going to do anything about it because the entire map, all 4 regions of Whistling, are united under the 12 churches. It's one of the few things that makes them all get along, even though all of the nobility who do not get along have all the armies.
Then on hearing this, he'll go to further investigate the church and see
Okay.
this window.
Okay.
What you doing, brother? You trying to look, this particular? There's so many other things happening right now. You really wanted to. I mean, you are a cleric, so I guess talking to the church is probably up your alley. But like, why this one? Why this one exactly?
I don't know if you've heard, but someone recklessly threw a rock through the window.
Oh, it's fine.
It's just careless, but I think, I mean, I can mend things.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I could go and mend the window for them.
Oh, right, of course, yeah.
And then that could just further solidify, and perhaps, I mean, it's very old, it's very special to them. So if someone from our church mended their window, then perhaps favors could be bartered later.
Right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, you know how I get whenever I go into churches? Is it alright if I just dressed up as maybe someone else? Maybe just look like someone entirely not me?
Odd. What are you telling me?
The face of Thylo just appears.
You don't have quite the knack for making your eyes go all over the place.
No, no. Just it's almost a more controlled Thylo at this point.
With still
With
all of
very-
that nervous bluster.
All right.
have
I suppose I
not as
can't
much
stop you.
idea.
Come on.
The party enjoys the festivities as they slowly find their wandering way towards the direction of the Church of Hraden, the Church of Rest. Anarian, you kind of step through the crowd and you're in as you arrive at your destination. Someone by now has thrown a necklace of like shells and flowers around your neck, and you don't even remember it happening, and you look back and you don't see anyone that is just doing this. And just at some point someone from some second story threw it, and it just and you see indeed that someone has full on yeeted a rock through a window, and you can see the various bits of very expensive stained glass scattered, and it's being swept up by this guy, and it's all over the cobbles, and some of the clerics have kind of formed a perimeter so no one steps on glass and stuff like that.
Oh, I 100% forgot to mention this, but it's very important. No matter what Pod shapeshifts into, Pod always has a mustache.
Philo,
Literally
mustache. Mustache match.
Love that.
There you go.
Do I immediately see someone who's kind of in charge of the situation?
Not particularly. That would probably be inside, or maybe they're about doing something else.
I mean, the window is...
Yeah, and you can see
Inside,
the proverbial janitor cleaning it up, as well as a few individuals keeping clear of making sure everyone doesn't step on glass.
All right, then I guess I'll just... If they're all just kind of doing busy work, I'll just head to the janitor
Okay.
who's sweeping.
Hello, good sir.
Hello, I was wondering if I could be of assistance with your window.
Sorry, in what means?
I'm just gonna, like, as we're talking, I'm just gonna cast mending on the shattered pieces at his feet and start, like, knitting them together.
Oh, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely indeed, good sir. And he like takes you by the arm gently and brings you over to the window, and he's very excited.
It's quite a ways up there, isn't it?
It is that. Would you like me to fetch you a ladder, sir?
Oh, that won't be necessary. Thank you, though.
Alright.
And I'm going to channel divinity and make a twilight sanctuary, and the church will fill with dim light. Ooh. And inside the dome, the stars are kind of inside like the evening sky.
Beautiful.
And I'll just take the piece and I'll just fly up to the window.
You hear various woos and ahs from within the grounds of the chapel as you alight, and all the stars come out and start twinkling as you begin mending the piece back into place.
I gotta roll for this to see if it
Are
happens.
we all there?
Yes.
What?
Levy is tucking her hair, part of her
Yep.
hair.
Oh yeah.
Are you
I'm.
seeing this?
She's already. Yeah. All right. Okay. This is a good sign.
This is a very good sign.
All right.
So-
Guess we'll stick around with these ones a little bit longer.
See, I know how to pick them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shush, shush.
The
You
last
already
one doesn't
broke.
count.
You broke one of them already.
I did not do anything yet.
He said the same word like 8 times.
That doesn't mean it's my fault.
Pod.
Don't be dumb.
So I rolled to see if this would happen. So you said, so you put dim light into this room. Pod does not have dark vision. So Pod does have mending, and so Pod is like also like trying. What had happened was they took out like almost like a Velcro sticker of the Church of Amiss.
Okay, you bring out your badge.
Took it out and just put it on there because we're doing the church work now, and begins to do it. But like as Pod is mending, like they accidentally bump into like a vase or something else that's like breakable because they can't see really as well because it's dim light, and it just crashes onto the ground.
Can I try and catch it?
Sure. Make a dex save a dex save. Dex check?
Dex roll?
I think it's a dex check. I think this would be
I
a
wish you could just use like deflect missiles.
18.
18. You managed to catch, what was it you said, a vase pod?
Sure.
Okay. You go and you look down and she's already got it.
Like bent backwards. Like
Yeah, she's contorted and caught it with lightning fast reflexes. Lightning fast.
Catch.
Pod, darling, you have to be careful. And she like very like she's scared she's gonna break it as she like tries to set it back.
You're holding what you initially thought was a vase, and you now realize is this
It's a vase.
Is this ornate ancient relic that was clearly deep under the ocean for a long time and is crusted with old dead barnacles and stuff like that. And it's still a vase, but it is mostly barnacles.
Oh.
and
Yeah.
a young lad comes up. Jessica, thank you so much for the raid. Hello, friend. How are you? I hope you had a good time.
I did not.
I thought that was the character.
I was like,
Yeah.
what?
No.
Who is Jessica?
A young lad comes up. Jessica.
Jessica.
That's not my name.
Yes.
Amazing. Hi, friend. Everyone go follow Jessica. A young choir boy essentially just comes up and he goes, "Oh, thank you so much. Oh, they would have had my hide if something had happened to that." And he starts like adjust. He gingerly tries to take it from you, and then after doing a small prayer to the god of rest, he lays it back, and he's trying very hard, and he's missing a lot of the words because he doesn't have it all memorized. And then he's like, okay, and then looks at Pod and goes,
Now, little one, and she's gonna kneel down and look at him. How much would you say that item is worth that I just saved?
You can't put a monetary value on something so beautiful and holy and ancient. I don't know
So
if
it's
it's
worth
actually
quite a
holy.
lot.
Sure, yeah.
Don't you think some payment is in order? Or else they would have had your hide.
and he kind of stops for a second and goes,
I don't
Is
know.
it-
You could take that up with Speaker Onart, or maybe if you're really feeling feisty, you could talk to the High Monarch Christria.
Do I know any of these names? No.
Ben, I see your hand.
Do I recognize this artifact as any part of like my readings and my?
It's definitely a part of it, but you've never seen this or know about this artifact in particular.
Right, but I know about like the general idea of it.
Yes, definitely fits with a lot of stuff you've been researching.
Is this the
Would I
church
know
that
the
Oh, sorry.
the general price point on it?
Oh, it really is priceless. It's seen as an ancient artifact, maybe akin to a lordship. It's not something that they would put monetary value to. It's just got a different kind of value.
Right. Okay. So I kind of hear what's happening. I was not looking in the church at all. I was just kind of like looking back towards the festival all the time. I hear what's going on. I like turn very quickly, like up and down the artifact one time, and I go, no, he, and in a very different like tone from what I was like, how I was speaking differently earlier. I just like, no, he's actually telling you the truth. There is no price. These people don't put prices on these types of artifacts. It's got a price, but it's not the same type of, like, there's no monetary value to this. It's basically like he would have to trade you some sort of position in the church or some sort of like title or ownership or something like that. And then I just snap right back to the party off in the distance.
Everyone.
See, you should have just said that.
Do
you have any drinks around here?
He's flustered and doesn't know how to. He's too. I'm too young to be drinking. As Anarian lights back upon the ground, and most of the attention this whole time has been on Anarian.
Real quick, if any of you were inside the Twilight Sanctuary, you get 12 temp HP.
Ooh, nice.
I think I was.
Nice.
Just hang on to that.
Nice.
Yeah, we were right under it.
12 or 10?
12.
Half my HP back. Let's go.
An individual who has clearly been fetched once things started happening of the miraculous nature within the church. Speaker Onart comes in and he sees what's happening. He notes all of the stars, and as you come back down, he didn't notice the very priceless vase almost being destroyed, thankfully, and he walks calmly up to Anarian and bows low, making a hand gesture of some kind of respect to the Church of Amiss.
He will like return the gesture of respect back to the Church of Rest.
I thank you for your blessings. And he also casts blessing upon you. And I don't remember exactly what, I'll look that up later, but he casts a blessing upon you, and he goes, thank you so much. My chapel to yours, my hearth and home. Anarian, go ahead. We'll round this up real quick before getting over to
know like a proper response to that. 'Tis a cleric's humble duty to assist when the need arises.
Of course. And if there's anything we can do to help you as well. We are quite taxed at the moment, but
Of course.
it's
At a later date, perhaps.
Precisely. Lavina.
I just wanted to note, Levy is focusing on this interaction to try and memorize the gestures, the hand gestures, to precision, like almost like she would like a dance, like that's how she's looking at it, to try and memorize the formalities.
Yes.
Eshna is also watching Anarion very closely.
Okay. Some ragamuffin came in, all heedless, didn't say anything, just picked up a rock and started throwing it, and then had the gall to be flippant in the church.
He was dealt with appropriately, I assume.
Well, he was handled. It's a festival, and he starts rehashing everything he's been told, and he clearly is disappointed that he didn't get to have someone, his version of what he thought should have happened in that moment, and you see him reeling himself in emotionally.
I put a hand on his shoulder. Now, there's much to be said of showing mercy at a time of such celebration. This will be reflected well upon the Church of Rest.
I agree. Not to mention it, and he wouldn't say that. He says this almost a little hushed. I would say that Lavina can make a perception check to try to eavesdrop. And the other two, I'm not sure if you're close enough to try to eavesdrop, but if you are welcome to. He kind of leans in and says in a quieter tone, we were able to use this. Our High Monarch, Christria, was very smart and was able to use this for
gain against the Church of Tempestuous, and they have been called upon to provide whatever more assistance. We now have a little bit of an easier time in our burdens throughout the festival, and so it's not a complete loss. And
Gods
now
do
it's no
indeed work in
loss at
mysterious
all.
ways.
Yes, you've fixed this. Thank you kindly.
Perhaps they led that one to throw the rock just as they led me to fix it.
The blessings of the 12 upon you. And
As well.
He gestures, in this time with the Church of Rest, and bows low. And
Let's see, can I get to...
begins to walk away.
That's very kind of them to be doing that. I like that interaction. It's pretty nice.
I just hand him a handkerchief.
Careful.
I rolled to see whether or not he would sneeze.
Do
Uh-oh.
do I know? I mean,
Would
do I have
you-
to roll to see if I know that he's hiding something?
The question
or...
is, would you insight check your brother for this? If yes, then you can make an insight check. If not, then you don't even get to roll, really. It's up to you. Follow the fiction.
Think your brother's a saint? That's the question.
Yeah, I'll.
Pretty sure. And
The
I
issue is that he
noticed
technically
that-
is a saint.
I'm like, what sibling would an insight
Yeah,
check their
that's
other
what I was like.
sibling?
Absolutely.
That's a 20 on the die, so 26.
26.
Whoa.
Pod's looking a little... They're looking a little sus.
Like, I'd like to think that while I'm having this, I had this conversation with this guy. I've kind of just been side glancing Pod every time he mentions when he mentioned this ruffian who threw the rock. Is like, oh yes.
A ruffian.
Before you can have
I won't
Oh.
approach him about it now.
Yeah. You
But
kind of
I know that he's.
Yeah, you kind of figure that information out. And then an interesting individual, you hear him first. And he's actually a ornate plate mail paladin with flanged shoulders going backwards, and this kind of almost hawkish helm, which is currently up. And she has this golden half mask tattoo, almost Phantom of the Opera style, comes in, and she's got some kind of a dowser with her, and she comes in from a back room and ignores all of you and quickly begins to walk out of the room. And then you see, as she passes by Thylo, turns back following this kind of compass and walks back into the room and starts looking around. Insight check, Stylo. Fails and kind of goes and walks back outside.
Yeah, Levy is after her.
Okay.
Do I notice?
Sure. Ashton, were you gonna say something?
No, that's Eshna just watching Levy run out and going, oh my god.
Excuse
I don't know
me.
where she gets all this energy.
It's an intimidating eye contact. Just yes.
Hi. What is your name?
It's a great
She's,
question.
starstruck. She's just starstruck. Like, oh my gosh, this beautiful being in front of me.
Okay. The armor's gorgeous. For sure. She's got a few scars across her face. She wouldn't be what I would say traditionally beautiful. But if you think she's gorgeous, then you think she's gorgeous. That's totally fine. She kind of looks at you and goes, Maya.
Maya, it is an honor to meet you. You just caught my eye and I had to know your name. I'm Lavina.
Thank you.
Okay, well, you were clearly busy. have a good one. And she's like kind of backing up, but also not wanting to look away.
Mhm.
But she's just like, she's just kind of gonna like skip back. Her name was Peya. As she tells Eshna.
You can't. There's so many people here. You can't
I know.
just run off after every single one.
Well, isn't that why you have the three amigos following after me? And she's gonna shoo her foot at one of the bears that's still
No,
near her,
they're,
like, get
they're
away,
following
get
us
away.
now.
There's one on your leg.
Oh, there's definitely one on her.
She's shaking her leg like she clearly does not like these things.
There's one.
Like,
There's one that's
does.
gotten up behind Anari and is just kind of.
All right,
I
you're
just-
cute.
I just,
Attempts
I
to
don't,
pet it.
It's
I
a
don't
ghost.
want to lose you in this big of a crowd.
Oh, come on. And she's still shaking her leg, mind you. I'm not a
You
little
chase-
kid anymore.
You chase after everything you see.
Not everything. For the most part. No.
Real quick. Okay, it's just Pod.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I wanted to know what Thylo's reaction was to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah. So during that conversation that Maya just had with Levy, was Maya wearing anything other than just like, I mean, the ornate
Plate.
armor or whatever? But was there anything like any symbols, anything, any insignias, anything that she was
all
wearing?
in the calligraphy of a Hraden.
Okay, so
beautiful
nothing, like,
ornate,
super-
beautiful ornate plate.
Yeah, so nothing like super out of the ordinary then? Just like this is the plate of the church.
Yeah, I would say that she's clearly a high-ranking member of a high-ranking paladin of some kind. So this would be unusual. It's very ornate. And make a history check for me, Thylo. And Pod, with your passive, you noticed that the little choir boy, who's still kind of around, has made the connection as well that Maya was sensing probably someone in the party, and is kind of just quietly gathering information. Only Pod sees this. Thyla, what'd you get on your history check?
There's 16 on the history check.
16 on a history check. All just like the gentry who are closely affiliated with the wizard schools. The aristocracy and the nobles are affiliated with the wizard schools and have various elite squads and factions who hunt down cursed items and stuff like that, trying to keep the realm safe. The churches also have high-level inquisitors who carry out delicate situations. This is likely one of them. The golden side mask being tattoo being the mark of inquisitor within the Church of Hraden.
Okay. In that conversation, my hawk has come towards us.
Okay.
And is now following above Maya wherever she's going. And as soon as she gets like 150 feet away, I want to very slowly just kind of walk towards her, like in her direction, wherever she's going.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
So when Pod had noticed this large paladin come in with this face and the armor, and it was just like again just shiny, and just kind of like watched, and then you could see on the mustachio Thylo's face like a copy of the tattoo like kind of forms on the side of a Pod's face.
Okay.
And then
Bold move.
like kind of I mean it's almost unconscious at this point, but
Sure.
like whenever Pod sees something that they think is cool, they like try to like just like subconsciously like with the red hair and all that stuff. So anyway, but then like looking around and like seeing Anarian has probably experienced this before and does like the I don't know, like a wink or something, and oh, okay, and then Pod just like quickly, like the thing vanishes, and that's when they notice the kid. So Pod is going to take note of this and see what's happening, and watch to see where the kid's gonna go.
Okay. As Thylo kind of begins making his way out, the kid starts looking around the room, and you see his eyes connect with a back room that leads into a hallway, or a back hall, a door through to a hallway, and starts quickly moving towards that hallway.
Yeah, Pod will follow.
Okay, you start following.
Probably gonna follow Thylo because he's just suddenly started walking and then just like, you know, in like a beeline navigated this way kind of thing. And she's just, is your vision still here or is it with the hawk?
It's dual vision, we figured out. He's doing both. That's why his eye is kind of, we're just cinematically making it quirky.
Okay.
Yeah, the way that, so my spell book ghost, as long as he's within 300 feet of me, I can always know what he's seeing and hearing whenever, and it doesn't take like any action. So that's kind of like double vision. And the hawk, if it's within 100 feet of me, it can communicate telepathically, and so I know what it's hearing and seeing. But if it's outside of 100 feet, I go blind and deaf when I try to hear and see through it.
So you technically have 3 points of view, right? Okay. Is your eye doing the weird thing? Is your eye moving? One eye.
If I lose sight of Maya, my right eye will roll back.
Okay. She's just gonna walk with him and just like she can see the gears in your head turning, and she just walks with him. And what are you thinking about?
There's I am not acknowledging her existence whatsoever. I am tunnel vision.
Oh no.
She's gonna like kind of take his arm like she's guiding a blind person.
Okay.
And just be like, excuse me, you know, like very nicely to people.
Yeah, you're helping. I like it. What's Eshna and Anarian doing?
Eshna will send one bear after Levy.
Just starts tumbling.
Yeah. We're just
yeah.
cute. And then one bear after Pod. And then I'm just gonna look at Anarian. I'm just gonna look at him and be like, all right, well, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna look kind of over her shoulder. How far has Pod gone down the hallway?
That's up to Pod.
Or did they like stealth away?
He didn't declare stealth.
Yeah, I'm just kind of following behind the kid, and I'm waiting for the opportunity where we're alone.
Okay. And Anarian knows that he's their soul knife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's just gonna leave Pod to their business. Anarian will probably just make noise and mess it up or whatever. So
if there are times where you want to know where Pod is going, you can like do like a whistle that they both know.
Okay.
And that'll be like the signal for Pod to.
So my family does at Walmart.
Connect to you to let you know what's going on.
Eshna, what were you saying again? That you just recap for me. I blanked.
I sent a bear after each group, and then I'm just hanging next to Anarian.
Okay.
Because I'm interested. I want to stay a bit in both places.
Sure. Oh my god, a party that even when they split, they're together. This is cool. This is weird. I like this.
We've got like multiple ways of communicating with each other, and it's very odd.
So I think I need another one of those turkey legs, to be honest. All that flying around worked up quite an appetite. And I'm gonna start walking towards the door, but I'm gonna do the whistle, just like casually.
Okay.
Cool.
Ashna?
And Pod will for 2 hours, just to finish that, for 2 hours is now connected to Anarian, Eshna. Who are the three that we can see right now? Or I guess just those two right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So psychically connected to those two right now.
Technically, you have a bear.
It's got
Which
to
is
be
connected to me.
There's all sorts of connections. Eshna.
Yeah. As I'm walking with Anarian towards the turkey legs, I'll be like, well, I am rather interested in that spell that you seem to cast with the stars.
Well, it's not a spell exactly. It's more of a divine channel.
What is that?
Well, I received power from my god Amiss, and I'm able to harness that and channel into sort of a dome of twilight.
That's very interesting. Do you know a lot about twilight or the stars?
Well, they're really sort of a mystery, aren't they? We've heard rumors of a group who studies them more closely, but I've not really interacted with any of them. Like a druid tribe of sorts.
Ah, you've heard of them.
Only in stories and legends, almost.
Oh. Well, I'd be interested to hear any stories if you ever feel like sharing.
Oh, sure.
And speaking of food, I got these, and she pulls like the drug pouch out.
Yes! Let's go!
She's like, I got something that might be a bit fun for the fireworks, if you would be interested in partaking.
Would I recognize what those are?
Are you the kind of person that would be around narcotics?
You know what? Probably not.
Probably not. I mean,
like
it's
candy.
you understand
are they candy?
what she's saying.
Okay.
The context
You
of what
understand
she's.
that they're special candy.
It looks like
Apparently
it looks like seaweed.
Apparently,
normally-
they keep you sane. Things just look cool.
All right. I mean, normally I don't really go for that sort of thing, but I'm not working or anything, so. And if it keeps you sane, then I don't see the problem.
You know what? Levy is being watched by a bear and apparently a very intelligent orange-red person. So I'm gonna trust her a little bit.
Aw.
It's a festival. Let's have some fun.
Okay. The two of you find a nice little hill with a tree. There's a couple of benches and some people are moving about. There's, it's very relaxed. You can see multiple guards who are having a good time, just keeping the peace, when necessary, a very safe environment. And the two of you find a bench and Eshna takes it, Anarian?
Yeah.
All right. Con checks for the both of you, not saves.
Okay. 12.
11.
11. Awesome.
Same trip.
Very, very similar experiences for the both of you. Everything visually kind of shifts. Whilst you understand that what you're seeing is normal, your inner mind is kind of influencing that. And so if you allow it to, this is something you can kind of force yourself out of if you need to. Everything visually turns to a solid marble, and you can see a torchlight. And just to note the very strangeness of the strangeness of this, things that are opaque like fire look solid, but it's still moving like fire, marble, and all of the beautiful streaks of the cracks within marble that you see, predominantly whites and blacks for this particular trip, are what it's giving it definition. You can see the cracks of marble becoming the faces, and everything seems still completely accurate aside from the fact that it's all reskinned as marble, and you can't see through windows. That's kind of the only parameters here, is that anything opaque looks solid, and it's kind of striking.
If I look through my familiar's eyes, is it a similar look? Or is my vision clear?
That's an interesting question. I'm not sure. I think you would have normal sight through the familiar. Honestly, whichever one you want, I'm more than happy to roll with. Okay.
It's your narcotics. You tell me.
True. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Wait, no, because you're perceiving through the eyes.
Yeah.
Right. It's not
But
an actual
they're my
creature's
creation.
eyes. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that. Same stance. It would be affected, and everything looks marble, but you can change it if you choose to. Thylo.
The drugs would affect the mind, so you take the vision, then your mind would have to perceive it. So regardless of which vision is hitting her brain, as long as her brain is the one that's being affected by the drugs, she would perceive the vision to be the drug vision. Yeah, granted, everything is weird and magic in this, and it's your call. But like logically, that's how I think that the drugs would be.
It makes sense.
The only thing that I want is when I'm looking through the bear's eyes, it's blue instead of the white marble, because they're little blue spectral baby bears.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Cool.
Okay. You guys start enjoying this visual, or don't. Inarian, how do you react?
He's probably like shocked at first, but like taken by the beauty of it, so he kind of just looks around.
Okay, I like that. Nice. Anything you two want to say as you wrap up for the night, between the two of you? Then we're gonna jump over to Pod, then we're gonna jump over to Thylo and Lavina, and then we're gonna call it a night.
What do the bears look like? Because they were like translucent.
Oh yeah, do they look solid now?
Stars inside them and all that. Like, are they just marble blocks?
To your eyes, they're still marble.
Yeah.
They just look like marble cubs. Mostly cracks because of all the fur texture.
You know, it almost looks like I could touch them now, but no.
I'm still feeling Anaran out, so I'm not gonna ask any prying questions right now. I'm just gonna let it be a bonding moment.
Nice.
Enjoy the trip.
Yeah.
Someone nearby strikes up a harp.
Ooh.
All right. Pod. Now you must roll for stealth, as he goes down a hallway and actually, like, quickly moves through a doorway that just has curtain.
How many seconds do I have when we're both alone?
You're not alone yet.
Okay, we're not alone.
Not yet.
That stealth was a 12.
12? Okay.
Let me know if that's a failure, because I can use psychic. I can use a die to increase that.
It is a failure.
Okay, then I will use the psychic die to increase that by 4. So it is 16 now.
All right. 16.
Oh, and as I had left, since I had heard the whistle and activated the things, I just let Anaria know, like,
getting a weird feeling about this one. I'll be right back.
And he would have been like, all right, we're going to do drugs on the bench.
Pod's capable.
I'll be right there.
Yeah, and he has full.
Capable young lady.
I'm just making flowers grow now.
Oh, cool. That's so cool. All right, are you dipping after him through the curtain?
Yeah.
Okay. You find yourself directly behind where the statue would be. Of course, there's a wall because you're in a new room. So you're like right behind the chapel, and there's a very large wrought iron spiral staircase going up and down. You can see a window on the other side of the spiral staircase, and kind of a long slit of a window going all the way up and into the floor line, and then of course no window going down into the basement. But you see him quickly scurrying his buns, or about to, up the spiral staircase.
All right, I will attempt to dash up to them as soon as they're like I see the area that is.
With a 16, you get right to him. He goes to step onto the spiral staircase, and you're right behind him.
Oh, hey, wait, you move fast.
Hi.
So, hello. Just a quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
You were staring at my best friend. You okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Insight.
Yep.
18.
Okay. He is about to go alert somebody that whoever that paladin Maya was looking for is likely the party, is one of the party members. That's what he's got. And he's about to get his little head pat because he's a good little choir boy. And it's a problem.
What is this like just a non-leveled NPC? Like is this just like
what was your
if
insight?
I were to an 18?
Yeah, he doesn't have any levels in anything like that. He's
Just saying like thematically if we wanted to skip to the part where I murder them, that
Right.
would be
yeah, I'd say
okay.
he's definitely a commoner with a very small amount of hit points.
right. So just like that happened and then just okay, all right. And then as soon as he turns around, fade to black, and then the bear kind of like that was following Pod eventually like gets around the corner to the bottom of the stairs, and you see just tons of blood just covering Pod as Pod's got this like eldritch spatula and it's just smashing this kid to tiny pieces, and just the wildest of eyes as he's just like a wild grin, wild eyes, and just smashing, and then he turns up and looks at the bear.
All in marble, by the way. Blue marble.
Yeah,
Is it-
bloody marble.
He's killing a child?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm not the only one who's done it now, George.
He
He looks up at the
Here's
bear.
the real question. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bob.
he was gonna tell on my best friend.
Ashna,
Does this
Do
come
you
through the
have
mental
an-
link as well, or is it
the
only
question
bear?
I have
No,
for
it's
you is it a constant stream of information, and do you automatically see this? Or are you distracted by the trip, and this can go either way? That's up to you.
I mean, if I'm on a drug trip, I'm checking in on my bears consistently. I am just sitting
Okay.
on a bench. So it may not be a constant stream, but at some point I check in, and I'm sure at a point in there, I see this.
I'm gonna say you clock in. Oh, thank you for the raid, Azure. I'm gonna say you clock in right on that, what he just said. And he's just got these wild marble eyes staring right at the bear.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stop tripping now.
Okay. And you see the blood.
And can we fade to next week? When
Yeah,
we
let's
start there?
pick up there.
The bear disappears, and Ashna just looks at Anarin.
It's just like,
Oh. Okay. Excellent.
What about the other two?
Yeah. Thylo, Lavina. Thylo, you're keeping track of this paladin. And the more you watch, the more you understand of how capable this paladin is, and how respected this paladin is, as she is constantly like moving and everyone's getting out of the way. Other clerics, even you see other holy people of the Stormfather, who is arguably the most powerful church, is scrambling to get out of her way. And then, hang on, she has a revelation. And you watch as the compass is pointing to the hawk. And she looks up and locks eyes with you through the hawk.
As soon as she locks eyes with the hawk, Hawk immediately goes into the other dimension.
Sure.
And then as the hawk is disappearing, I reach into my one of my many pockets with one hand. I grab a little bit of something. I yank an eyelash out. I put them both together, and while Levy is still hanging on to me and I still haven't noticed her, I just kind of like under my breath go invisibilitatum, and then both of us disappear. We both turn invisible. I didn't realize that she was about to turn invisible with me, but it just happens.
Okay.
We both turn invisible.
Awesome. All right.
And then I point at her. And
that doesn't
cast
work.
message.
Oh, I mean that works. Yes. I was gonna say she's not gonna see that.
No, yeah, she cannot see that. But I just kind of point at her, and I cast message.
Okay.
And I go, how do you know Thranegar Thatch? Or Thranegar Match? That's my dad's name. I've just decided. Thranegar.
And you're doing
Match.
this to not Lavina but Maya?
Maya.
Okay.
Nobody else can hear anything except for Maya, and she can respond telepathically to me.
You watch as she stops, does a 360, and starts looking around. She's by one of the stands, and quickly she goes, "I don't know what you mean," as she slowly walks down an alleyway. Please unpack that for me.
Can I see how anything down this alleyway?
You pursuing? You position yourself to look down the
I'm not-
alleyway, and you can see her
Yeah.
that she has walked, and there are a few kind of day drinkers that quickly leave by whatever means necessary. One of them crawling through a window as she and goes to round a corner out of view.
Okay, I'm gonna send my spellbook spirit down the alleyway,
Okay.
which is a very, very faint, ghostly image of my dad.
I see. Excellent. Are you watching through? Also, Lavinia, are you doing anything? Okay, you're hanging. You're vibing. Let me know if you do anything. You watch as you round the corner with the ghost. I assume you're perceiving through the ghost's eyes. As she is and then she's kind of looking around, trying to figure out exactly what's going on, checking the sky, and then the ghost walks around. She goes, "Ah, a haunting." And begins to remove curse, and it doesn't work. And she goes, "Spirit? Is that your name? What was the name again? Match?
Thranegar Match.
Thranegar Match. Thranegar Match, is that your name?"
And then she just hears my voice telepathically again. "So you don't know Thranegar Match?"
"I'm afraid I don't." And you can see that the
Then what
wheels are turning, and she's trying to figure out what's going on, but she's not coming up with any answers.
Then what is your business with me?
Pulls out the compass. "Someone has been spying on a Hraden's closest and favored kin." She takes a step towards the ghost, trying to look intimidating, but she can't touch it.
Would I know anything about that phrase? Like, would I have?
You put together that you're spying on the ritual that you were watching at the beginning of this episode was noticed, and they're trying to find you. They have a means to try to find you, and it's whatever this compass is. Would you like to pick up there next week?
I can't. Yeah, I'm trying to find something a little bit more suspenseful, but
Sure. I mean, yeah, I got you. I got you, Eshna. Don't worry. Okay. Let's see what Eshna does.
I think she has a suggestion.
Yeah.
We want to end on suspense. Eshna, through one bear's eyes, just saw Pod murdering a child.
Sure.
That bear disappears. She checks in on her other bear, and just in time sees Thylo and Levy disappear from her vision. And she cannot see them anymore.
And Levy realized, and she's like, the bear can't see me.
The bear is wandering around in a circle back wherever you guys disappeared, and the bear just is confused. And just this, like, angry scream comes out of Eshna. I don't know where you guys are. I don't know if you can hear it.
I think
I'm
Pod
sorry,
can hear
Anarin,
it, and
but
Anarian is certainly getting an earful. But I would say that Lavina and Thylo cannot hear it.
And I just turn to Anarin and I just go, who the fuck are you?
And that is where we'll pick up. Oh, God.
Right,
this is gonna
episode
be
2,
so
PvP.
fun.
Here we go.
Oh, good Lord. I love it.
You're muted. You're muted. Jake.
When Anarian just responds with the spell command, chill.
Bro.
Dry.
This isn't calm emotions.
Excellent. Real
Chill,
quick-
I just use ice magic.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
Real quick,
bet.
everybody, please stick around. We're going to be doing a raid. It helps whoever we raid. It helps us as a community build and all that good stuff. But that said, thank you so much for being here for episode 1 of chapter 3 of Terraform. I am so excited. This is already going completely all over the place, and I'm here for it. I built it, and now they're running and they're going, and all I can do is be like, if they die, they die. Which means if Eshna kills Pod, Eshna kills Pod. Pod kills Eshna. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm very excited to see how it goes. It's in their hands.
Oh no.
Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I'm Sir Feffers. I'm the Dungeon Master. These episodes and the summer series are being slow rolled over on the YouTube, fully edited episodes of all the 3 new campaigns on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tune in on those days. If you go over to the Discord, you can get the exact times and the like. And hey, chill with us. We're cool. We're all right. We're also child killers, so it's a joke.
Not we. Don't lump us all into that group.
But it is more than one now.
George has joined the club. Although, to be fair, when I killed mine, he was an adult and I didn't know it was a changeling. All right, so
it was a complex situation. Changelings.
So tricksy.
Anyway, let me throw. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna throw it to somebody. They're gonna talk about themselves, and they're gonna talk a little bit about their character, and then they're gonna throw it to someone else until it comes back to me, and then we'll do the raid. That said, George, why don't you tell me a little bit about your thoughts?
Always the safe lobby for you, Jeff. Always that safe. So, except for today. Hi, I'm GoodGriefGeorge. You can follow me on all those links that's over there. So Pod's a changeling, and they are a little bit unhinged, as we all just discovered. So where I take that, tune in next week and find out, because this is just the tip of the iceberg we got going for this character. But I really enjoyed it. I created it specifically because I was like, Jeff, I would like to do multiple things, accents and things. And they were like, one character. And I said, done. So
yeah, he was like, can I just be a bunch of NPCs? And I was like, no, that's my job.
Yep. So this is as much NPCs as I'm gonna get. So he's going to be a full-on ADHD, crazy little changeling gremlin, and it's going to be interesting. So we'll see what happens. But I'll guess I'll give it over to the sibling brother, Anarian.
Oh, Critfail Jake, I'm checking Instagram. Anarian is just, what the heck? You know, 1 minute everything's fine. He fixes a window, gets a boon from the church. First time doing drugs, and then everything's chill, and the person just pivots. So we'll see how that goes, and if Ashna will just immediately dish out her wrath on Inari, and we'll see what happens. I am built for defense, though, so I'm pretty sure I can handle whatever she dishes out. So we'll see. With that, Ashna.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor and Tracy. You can find me everywhere as Taylor and Tracy. I play Eshna, a Circle of the Stars druid, and big old mama bear. This is not at all what I expected to deal with.
Me neither.
Today. Pod is going to die, and that is all I'm going to say. Let's pass it down to my wonderful Levy.
Everyone, I'm that dorky cosplayer, and I am playing Levy, and I am having so much fun. I, so far, am just loving the chaos I'm able to ensue as this new character. I'm loving the chaos from all the other characters. I'm really excited for the next episode. I literally cannot wait. I wish if we could just go 3 more hours right now. Trust me, I'd be all in. Like, let's go. But yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about my character. As you guys can see, she is goes with whatever her mind decides in that moment. There's no real forethought. She often refers to Eshna as her conscience because she'll just pop into her head and be like, yeah, that's not a good idea. And she'll be like, maybe we'll think about that. And you know, she goes with
and
that.
And then doesn't think about it.
It's in the back.
A very iconic traditional pseudo mother-daughter relationship, kind of, or maybe older sister, big sister.
Probably more like that.
Suggestions are noted, yes.
Yeah, I will take that into consideration. I will get back to you in 2 to 3 business days after I've done the thing.
Thank you.
And with that, Philo.
Hi, my name is Ben Brainard. You can find me on the internet. I am playing Philo Match, the wizard. Obviously, Philo is looking for something, and I'm sure most of you put it together that he's looking for his pops. I don't know how much information I want to put out there yet, but his pops obviously he doesn't know where he is, so he's out there looking for him, and thought maybe this ominous, intimidating paladin would have some sort of information, and nobody ever would want to look for me, so it really only made sense that she was looking for my dad. It turns out the curiosity is about to kill the cat on this one, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
Who is not gone? I think I was last, yeah?
Yes. And it looks like I'm logged out of my Twitch. So I cleared all my cache history like a fool right before the thing. So we're actually just going to end. Yeah, we're not even going to do a raid because I can't raid anyone. That said, everybody, have a phenomenal rest of your evening. See you Thursday for Windfall, which is gonna also just be absolute chaos, and I'm here for it. So tell everyone good night, party.
Good night, party.
Bye.